Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Rick Grimes arguably changed more than any other character throughout The Walking Dead, but a single scene from Season 2 laid the groundwork for the next 12 years. After waking up from his coma, Rick quickly stepped up and took responsibility for the main survivors in Season 1. Making both good and bad decisions that helped define his journey for years to come. Although he was a little bit naive and perhaps had too much faith in people early in the apocalypse, Rick became one of The Walking Dead's most dangerous characters, but his killer's instinct has always been present. The protagonist showed he was capable of taking lives as early as Season 2, and his first kills were among Rick Grimes' best Walking Dead moments. Whereas some characters severely struggled to pull the trigger for the first time on another human, Rick's first 2 kills were almost instinctive, setting up his future in the franchise. Not only did this iconic scene highlight that the show's central character had a more violent side, but it also showcased that he was willing to make the tough call when it mattered, which was a sign of things to come for Rick's story. While putting down walkers phased Rick at first, killing Dave and Tony in Season 2's bar scene did not, suggesting he was always meant to be a leader in The Walking Dead. After coming across 2 strangers in a local bar, Rick, Herschel, and Glenn had a tense conversation with the duo, who asked if their group could join the farm. Despite acting civilly, Rick sensed the pair's hostility and politely told them there wasn't enough space, creating an uneasy atmosphere as tensions continued to rise. But the action reached a boiling point as Rick suggested they go to Nebraska. His comment ultimately caused the duo to lose their cool, but Rick was ready for them, shooting Dave in the head as he reached for his gun before turning and shooting Tony twice. While his police training undoubtedly contributed to him being quick on the trigger, there was no evidence Rick had ever taken a human life before Season 2. Still, Rick aimed to kill, even delivering a fatal shot to Tony after landing his first bullet, suggesting he was swift to sense the danger and was willing to make hard decisions early in the apocalypse. The bar scene highlighted many of the protagonist's characteristics, but above all else, it showed Rick was a natural-born leader in The Walking Dead, and this was destined to continue. Trying to defuse the situation and ultimately being the one to kill 2 strangers confirms that Rick has always known how to look out for his people, which has remained a core trait throughout his entire journey. Rick killing Dave and Tony without hesitation confirmed that he is capable of being cold when he needs to be, making his first kills a sign of his ruthless future. While Rick did mellow out after the Season 8 finale, he underwent a few dark phases that saw him become one of the most savage characters in the franchise. Between biting Joe's throat, executing Pete, driving a hatchet into Garrett's head, and running over Officer Lamson, Rick easily provided some of The Walking Dead's most brutal scenes, and his kills in Season 2 helped awaken his more lethal side. He did try to negotiate with Dave and Tony, clearly giving them opportunities to walk away, but when backed into a corner, Rick was willing to do whatever it took to survive. He did try to negotiate with Dave and Tony, clearly giving them opportunities to walk away, but when backed into a corner, Rick was willing to do whatever it took to survive. His decision to aim for the head and ensure the duo were dead foreshadowed his murder beard era, where he rarely gave anyone a second chance. Rick's time in CRM captivity did briefly bring back some of these darker tendencies, but while he is calmer and more forgiving now than he was at his worst, Rick always possessed a mean streak, which Season 2 helped uncover. Even after everything he has been through, Rick remains The Walking Dead's best leader due to his experience and good nature. There have undoubtedly been times when he wasn't the most fit to lead, as his trauma and anger often consumed him, making the protagonist act recklessly. However, Rick has managed to use his negative experience and harness his emotions to become a better man, making him the ideal candidate to oversee peaceful communities. He is fair and forgiving, as evidenced by imprisoning Negan rather than killing him and giving the Saviors a chance to integrate into other settlements. While both these decisions came with challenges, they ultimately proved to be the right moves overall. He's also not above seeking advice from others, particularly regarding difficult decisions, and usually makes the right call in the end. Even though many of his groups have fallen, people still look to Rick for hope, and he has turned into one of the most influential figures in the franchise. Not only did he help several communities stand up to the Savior's oppressive ways, but he also overcame losing years of his life to the CRM and stopped their evil regime. Although the trend of Rick Grimes taking over Walking Dead communities ended with him leaving the Civic Republic in his spin-off, he will likely still remain a powerful ally to the group if he returns to the franchise in the future. Assuming he does, it seems possible that we'll see his impressive leadership skills once again. The question about whether we will see Rick lead again in The Walking Dead comes down to a few main factors. Firstly, it's unclear whether Andrew Lincoln's return in 2024 was a way to round off his character's story or a permanent comeback for Rick Grimes. It seems unlikely he would return for a single spin-off only to exit the franchise once more, especially since some major reunions didn't happen. Still, there has been no confirmation that Lincoln will play Rick in any upcoming projects, leaving the protagonist's future unknown for the time being. Even if he does appear again, where his next story takes place will be crucial. His children spent a large chunk of their lives in the Commonwealth, but if he were to go there, he might not become a leader, as the Commonwealth is already in good hands with Ezekiel and Mercer. Although they may turn to Rick for advice and make him part of their council, he would probably be happy to let the duo continue running the place. On the flip side, a return to Alexandria would likely see Rick rule the community once more. Gabriel is currently in charge, but he's well aware Rick is more of a leader than him, and would probably encourage the protagonist to take over alongside Mycon. While he may take some time to step back from any responsibility and simply enjoy being with his family, Rick having some sort of leadership role seems inevitable in The Walking Dead's future if he heads back to Alexandria, making it all the more exciting to see what lies in store for the franchise's lead character.